I think repertoire is, first of all, is the list of what you're going to play, and obviously you want that in some ways to express the music that you enjoy, but also the music you want to share with people. But in another way, repertoire is the shape of everything that we do. Most of us are not in this business for improvising. Someone once said to me that the problem with classical music is that all you ever do is covers. And in a way, that is the case. And particularly here, when we expect, and the Doric expect, that people are rooted in what you might call the canon, so that in a way you've got Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, Mendelssohn, all these people, but at the same time playing covers when they're played so beautifully and passionately. That's why the concept of repertoire is really important to us. We ask our artistic directors to make decisions about the repertoire, and what we tend to ask is that it's not seen as one genre, it's not one composer, it's not one period in time. We really look to see the shape of the whole repertoire, particularly of the string quartet. Part of our training is to see the whole range of the string repertoire. So this year we go from Haydn, performed by the Doric. We've got 2 pieces of Mendelssohn. We come into the 20th century with some Schoenberg and some Schulhoff and some Janacek, and then we come right up to 1997 with some George Benjamin.
What we find really special here on Mull is that we can bring any repertoire that we like. So we can be quite broad, and actually the audiences are very open to that, which is fun.
The repertoire that I'm playing here is, there's such a wide spectrum of characters and emotions, and it's really the core pieces of the repertoire in chamber music, and it's so incredible to experience it with this group here. Everyone is so open and so sensitive and aware and listening, and it's really a really special way to delve into these incredible works.
For me, this week it's just wonderful to get to play so much quartet literature, which I don't often get to play in my normal life, as well as for Verklärte Nacht, this Schoenberg piece, which, compared to pieces by classical composers, Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven to an extent, Schubert, Mendelssohn, who are all kind of using a form to express what they wanted to express. We have Schoenberg, who is really actively pushing the boundaries, pushing against the ideas of what was standard, what was expected of him. The interesting thing about the Verklärte Nacht, the Schoenberg piece that we're playing, is that it's not just a string quartet or even a string quintet, but it's a sextet with 6 players, 2 of each, violin, viola, and cello. And the way that he uses each instrument in the texture, I think, is quite unique.
That's also what we were working on this morning a little bit, that we realized how the bass line can influence so much the way the main voices express themselves. So you could very well play a tune and just think about the tune and the beauty of the line and stuff. But when you have a second cello that sort of, so the bass line that sort of infects things and asks for more things and sort of try to influence that, if you have open ears enough, then your tune just really will be shaped in a wonderful way. And again, that brings us to that, the togetherness then will be completely insane, because it will be about seeing the same turns in basically the bits that are in between, to do them in the same way.
With the 2 cellos, it means that there's always a bass happening throughout the piece. And I think when there's one cello, of course, sometimes maybe the viola will take the bass line, but to really have that constant, nearly constant G and C string register changes things a lot, because it then means that underneath the dialogue of the first violin and the first cello, it's always being driven by that bass. And then to also have that kind of the colours of the higher cello register as the melody a lot of the time kind of opens up another sound world which you won't find in any other ensemble.
Each period has taught me different things, but I think the period which has taught me most about the audience is contemporary music, because you get such a strong reaction, but also quite a polarizing reaction from audiences. I think it's also taught me to explore my extremes. So that is dynamics is within that, and characters.
Okay, if you can find out. Sound. Much more. Yeah, because lots of harmonics come out.
I particularly love early 20th century music, because everything around that time was so emotionally revolutionary. And we're playing Schoenberg Verklärte this week, which is such a emotionally draining piece. You really have to dive into it and bring the audience with you. And it requires so much of you, you can't help but learn whilst playing it.
In terms of the repertoire, I know that Ellen played the Janacek Intimate Quartet last year, and then this year we're doing the Quartet. And even though I've played that with the Dorics or with other people, it's just amazing how with these young musicians, how inspired I am to hear all of them, their characters, what they gotta say, and to look at the music always with new eyes, and it's fascinating for me. Yeah, and in this setting, it's perfect.
I'm really excited by the synergy of the island and the music, and the synergy, if you like, between something that when we talk about repertoire, for instance, something that's on the page, that's in a library, that's a book, but actually bringing it to life, and not just to life in a sterile concert hall, but in this wonderful, just as the way that nature is bursting with life and the island is bursting with life, so we hope that our music is really exciting. It's important that we focus on the Mendelssohn on Mull, is because Mull helps Mendelssohn just as much as Mendelssohn is excited to be here on Mull.
One of the joys of being on Mull is, of course, the natural beauty and the variety of scenery, and also particularly the variety of weathers. And but the uncertainty of the weather gives us is this ever-changing light and different colours. And just looking out across the bay here in Tobermory, you're constantly seeing different colours, and I find that so inspiring when thinking about music, because we try and find character, emotion, feeling, subtleties, and if you can not talk about them in a musical way, but escape kind of our classical music training and just be inspired by what we see on the horizon, in the colour of the water, whatever it is, I think that's a real privilege for us to experience here.
Well, it's just...
Hold a mug?
Okay, sure. It's just really inspiring to be making music here in this amazing, beautiful, sunny place. And whenever I just look around, I not only hear the music, but I see the music in my ears and my eyes. And just to be around the Doric Quartet, who are the most inspiring people ever, is just so amazing. And it makes us so happy, and it's amazing.